What's going on, people of the internet? Hyperchaotic here with a K, double R, and welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time visiting my channel. Now, what I got for you guys today is an interesting idea that I saw from a commenter on a completely different video that's not one of mine, that I'm bringing up in this video today because I just want to talk about it. I just want to talk about it, and I'm hoping others interested in this franchise are also interested to hear it. And I'm curious to hear what other people think about it. Because although this is an interesting idea, I don't know if it would actually work out too well in practice. But anyways, what exactly is it that I'm referring to? Well, for starters, just to be clear, if it wasn't already obvious from the title and thumbnail, we are talking about the franchise Call of Duty Zombies. Well, a franchise within the franchise, as in, side mode within the Call of Duty franchise. But nonetheless, I digress. And now, I'm personally quite a big fan of COD Zombies, of many of the maps, of the general storyline and its Easter eggs. But there are plenty of people out there that play Call of Duty Zombies that don't even do the Easter eggs or know next to nothing when it comes to the storyline. Heck, I remember when back in Cold War, Samantha was brought as a playable operator in the multiplayer, and everybody and their mama, even people who've played zombies before, were like, "Oh, interesting, new character. Who the heck is this? I've never seen her before." Which, for some people who have played zombies before, it blew my mind. Like, what do you mean? That's Samantha Maxis. How do you not know who Samantha Maxis is? Why are you more shocked by the fact that she exists and not by the fact that she finally grew up? Because for those of you who, for some reason, don't know, okay, entry 741021, okay, where did that little girl disappear to? She was literally referenced back in Kino der Toten. She didn't really have a model or was shown up until the Moon DLC. But all the way back in Kino der Toten, she was a character within the story. And yes, I know that's not the full entry, but, that's what I can remember right now, right off the top of my head. Usually I can remember it word from word. Right now I can't. But nonetheless, there are a lot of people out there that don't know much about the story. And even if they do the Easter eggs, they didn't really know that there was a whole story behind zombies. Or they're just barely learning about it. And although a lot of people are starting to get interested, I fucking apologize if you hear that in the background. I've been trying to record this for a whole fucking hour and I can't because this stupid fuck won't stop bitching on Warzone. Get the fuck off of the game if you can't stop bitching about it. Shit! I don't know, maybe you guys heard it, maybe you guys didn't, but when I hear it, it's an absolute fucking distraction. I'm getting fucking sick of it. So if at any point I get a little fucking irritated, that's why. I apologize ahead of time. I'm getting fucking sick of re-recording this every fucking 5 fucking minutes because they don't shut the fuck up. Fuck, where was I? A lot of people, although are intrigued by the story, they're not that interested in doing the Easter eggs. Or at the very least, they find a lot of them unnecessarily complicated and convoluted. Which, don't get me wrong, y'all, a lot of Zombros out there would agree with you. Some of the Easter eggs in the past, even for the professional Easter egg hunters, were just a bit too much. Oh, goddamn, my ear's ringing. I think I just lost another frequency. And now, this is the part where I bring up the idea brought up by this one commenter. Because they are one of these people, and this is what they had to say about the story. We need this as a book series. By the way, I'm reading it word from word. It's right on my phone. We need this as a book series right now. They would sell way better than the COD of today. I don't know if I agree with that, but nonetheless, I digress. Let's move forward. It's like I'm listening to the demented ramblings of a really dark Terry Pratchett. He's referring to the creator of the video, by the way. I probably should have just mentioned this beforehand. But essentially, this is a comment on a video from that one guy. I don't know if you're familiar with this creator. Maybe you've seen him in his feed before, where he tries to summarize a franchise in 1 minute, explaining it to a friend.
So this is Richtofen. Correct. And this is also Richtofen. Also correct. Are they the same people? Oh yes, but that Richtofen is from Ultimus and that one is from Primus. What? So there are two groups that are different versions of the same characters, which are Richtofen, Dempsey, Takeo, and Nikolai. Explain. Remember when Samantha was in control of the zombies? Yeah.
And there you go. I'm not going to show you the full video because that would be content theft. If you just want to see his videos, you can literally check out his channel. Now, really quickly before we talk about this a little bit more in depth, I just want to go over some of the replies. Another guy says, you think gamers would go out of their way to read a book, especially CoD players? Now, that's a little bit unfair because certain game franchises out there do have their own novels or started off as novels, such as the Halo franchise, which has apparently a few novels. Star Wars, I know it's not only a video game franchise, but they have their own novels too, some that even extend lore in video games. And then you got The Witcher, which literally started off as a book. And there are a lot of people out there, fans of the game and the book. Now, I will say when it specifically comes to Call of Duty, they don't do novels, but they have done some comic books in the past to fill in some gaps and add in some lore for both the campaign and zombies. So, campaign and zombies have comic books filling in gaps, filling in the lore for their own separate little universes. But that's really about it. They fill in gaps, you know, in between the maps. They answer some questions. They'll leave you with a little bit more to keep you interested. And that's about it. Nothing's really being retold in book form. And then another person mentions, like 90% of the CoD players don't even care about the story or lore to the game. And they just want to play the game. Now, I wouldn't say that's completely true, that many of them don't care about the story or the lore, but many of them do go about their way just playing zombies, not really bothering to look for the Easter eggs. Again, because maybe they're not interested in doing those. And he is right, because most people prefer to get the lore in the game and just want to play the game. It makes no sense why they would want it retold again in book form, unless maybe they just wanted to really add to the collection or see if there were any further mysteries or answering some questions that have been left unanswered in relation to this franchise. But if it's literally just everything that's already been told being retold in book form, I don't think anybody's going to really bother to buy that, because you can already do that with YouTube videos online right now, with lore videos and timeline videos. And I guess now I leave this question to you. To any fellow Zombros out there, to anybody who's slightly interested in the CoD Zombies lore, but doesn't really care about doing the Easter eggs, would you be interested in a retelling of the story in book form? Maybe it'd be like a comic book novel, or what do you call it, a graphic novel? But would you be interested in the whole story being retold in book form? And would you prefer a graphic novel or just a regular novel? Because in my genuine, honest opinion, I don't think too many people would go out of their way to get such a book. Even for the comic books that exist out there right now, not too many people, even myself included, have really gone out of their way to read them. Or, like in the past, at least for me a few years ago, they didn't even know they existed. Hell, I'm willing to bet there are some people out there who are watching this video and are finding out for the very first time that Call of Duty has comic books. You're probably thinking, what the fuck? They extended the story and comic book for the campaign and zombies? Why wasn't I told about this? Why didn't they advertise it? Did it ever come with a special edition of the game? As far as I know, they never have. They've never really came with a special edition of the game. Or like, if you pay for like an Elite edition, it comes with like all the DLC, Season Pass, and the comic books and other special gifts. I don't know if they've ever done that with the comic books. I don't think they do. I think that's something they do separately in the middle of a COD's life cycle while also making another one. In other words, they basically make them in between games, but I don't think they've ever really, done a bundle of them with any of the games. As far as I know. I could be wrong. I've just never seen it been done before. But just knowing that the comic books themselves are not sold as much, talked about as much, some people out there don't even know they fucking existed. A couple of years ago, I didn't even know they existed. Somebody out there's gonna watch this video and find out for the very first time they even exist at all. I highly doubt that a novel or a graphic novel that's retelling the entire storyline would really sell that well. I don't know, maybe they would make a few copies, make it a limited edition, and see how well it does in sales and whether or not they would continue to do that. But I don't think Activision and Treyarch would. Because with plenty of lore and timeline videos on YouTube, on the internet in general, there's really no need to do that. And most people would rather get the lore from the games themselves. Again, not that they're against getting some extra additional lore that, again, fills in some of the gaps in between the games. But as far as just retelling the whole thing, everything we've already know, but not adding anything new to it, I don't really see this being too popular or doing well. So I honestly, genuinely want to hear from all of you out there, any fellow CoD Zombros out there. What do you think of this idea? Would you be interested in a retelling of the CoD zombie story? Would you prefer it as a regular novel or a graphic novel? I'm willing to bet you're more likely leaning on graphic novel. And do you think such a book would even sell well? Do you think the fan base or others just learning about the storyline would even be interested? Or do you genuinely think Activision or Treyarch would ever bother to even think about doing this at all? Honestly, I could see Treyarch maybe slightly entertaining the idea, but I don't think Activision would really give a shit unless they see dollar signs. I mean, if it ain't bringing in the green, I don't see a reason to publish such a book. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't publish too many of the comic books either, just for that very reason. Again, especially since not a lot of people know about them. Granted, that's on them for not properly advertising it and promoting it properly, but given so many people don't even know the comics exist and they don't really sell like hotcakes compared to the games or the DLCs or even a season's pass, why would they bother publishing an entire book just to retell the entire storyline up until now? I would be interested to see how that would work, but I don't think anyone would bother. I don't think I would really bother buying the book either, especially when I could just, again, go online and watch a YouTube video of somebody just retelling it. Even if it was directly from the book. That's even more of a reason not to go get the book. I also want to note, given that nowadays people are trying Call of Duty via the Game Pass, because they don't want to have to buy it, or don't have the money for a full game, yeah, I don't see that happening with a book anytime soon. Can you imagine renting a book on the Game Pass? I mean, it'd be cool. It'd be pretty fascinating. But I don't see Xbox adding books to the Xbox Pass anytime soon. Comic books or otherwise, even if they are related to a specific franchise. Now, I think there is another interesting idea, which is, this is something I even told the commenter, but they didn't reply back about it yet, or really at all. I don't think they will. I don't even know if they get notifications for comics. They might have it turned off. I don't blame them, given how chaotic the internet is. But I do have another interesting spin on that idea. Perhaps they do publish their own book. But perhaps they publish their own book that adds new lore, answered questions, and mysteries to the franchise. I specifically think that if Treyarch and Activision were to go down this route, they should take a page, no pun intended, from the book of Gravity Falls. Now, for those of you who don't know, Gravity Falls, well, I mean, if you know anything about the show Gravity Falls, you probably know this. If you don't, you probably don't know much about Gravity Falls. So I should probably kind of explain what the hell Gravity Falls is before I continue with this idea we can borrow from them. Gravity Falls is pretty much a kind of like mystery thriller series, good enough for both adults and children to enjoy. With a lot of hints throughout the show, explaining what will happen in hidden lore. And essentially, it's based around two twins staying with their Grunkle Stan, their great uncle. That's what it stands for, Grunkle, great uncle. And they're just staying with him for the summer, on vacation away from their parents. And they discover many mysteries of this town called Gravity Falls. With the story eventually leading to them accidentally releasing a two-dimensional god demon-like creature named Bill Cipher, which is literally a pyramid with an eye on it. You know, basically a living version of the Illuminati symbol. Who just wants to start something called Weird Mageddon, where he literally treats the third dimension as his own little personal playground. Not gonna lie, it kind of reminds me a lot of Richtofen when he took power. Except he's not a two-dimensional creature, though they did eventually release some creatures from another dimension beyond space and time, which would go on to fuck up their entire space-time continuum. Which I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Cipher did have the capability to do that if he wanted to. Though it would probably fuck up his entire playground, or he would do it to somehow keep his playground. Though he never got that far. They did trap him back into his realm. Now that's the best I can do to describe Gravity Falls. If you really want to know more about it for yourself, go watch a lore video. Go watch anything from Food of a Ferret, because he talks about that show a lot. A big fan of it, he is. Or go check out the show yourself. It's a pretty freaking good show. Now, near the ending of the show, and after the ending of the show, they ended up releasing a couple of books. And I don't just mean like some comic books that have some additional stories or add more to the lore of the franchise, which they do. They have those. But what they did do is they released a real-life version of one of the journals from the show. Now, again, for those who are not familiar with Gravity Falls, the twins eventually discover these journals, which can help them answer some of the questions they have about the mysteries of Gravity Falls, and help them find answers and discover more not mentioned in the book yet. Or maybe there are just slight hints, but there aren't full details because they haven't been discovered yet. And in real life, they actually released a real version of one of those journals. And in this journal, just like within the show, it has some hints, some references of some of the mysteries. But it also has new ones never mentioned in the show, or hinting at stuff that happens in the show, or hinting at it might have answered some unanswered questions from the show. They produced a book of mysteries with more mysteries to keep people intrigued with the franchise and finding more clues. And many years after the show ended, they did it again with a new book supposedly written by Bill Cipher or something like that, or more on Bill Cipher. And once again, it has more hidden clues to add to the lore to keep people discovering new mysteries from the show even long after it's been over. Keeping interest within the franchise, keeping that fire of passion alive, and giving people more of the franchise, which is what they wanted. More mysteries to discover and to partake in them themselves as if they were in the show. And as of right now, as of we speak, there are people still tearing this book apart. Not physically, not literally, but tearing it apart inch by inch, analyzing the shit out of it, looking for new clues and new mysteries, because they haven't discovered them all yet. If you're a fucking COD Zombies bro, that probably sounds familiar. There are a shit ton of mysteries and Easter eggs within the games, within the DLC maps, that people have yet to discover. And within this book, not only are they bringing new mysteries, but they're answering some of the old ones that people, again, didn't finish answering from the original show. Now let's get back to Call of Duty Zombies. How would they take a page from this book? Metaphorically speaking. Imagine if Treyarch and Activision produced and published a real life fucking version of the Chronorium that you can actually crack open and read. References to all the old stuff that already happened, and new mysteries to discover, with some hints and clues to answer unfinished business from the previous ones too. And because of how the Chronorium works within the universe of the franchise, and this is where, ladies and gentlemen, this is where shit can get a whole lot more fun and interesting. Imagine if everybody's version of the Chronorium was different. Maybe slightly, maybe completely. It could have different events and different mysteries, or similar Easter eggs that cross paths. Meaning that people with their own version of the Chronorium will have to get with other people who have their own version, bring the books together, and start putting together the mysteries. Imagine how fucking sick that would be. Imagine people literally going into their own version of the Chronorium, trying to decipher the clues, the hints, the riddles, going page by page with a fucking blacklight to see if there's any hidden mysteries written in invisible ink. And how many people are going to have to start catching up on their Ozoth and their fucking Keeper. Maybe they'll even straight up put a fucking an Apothecon to English translator in the book, or Keeper to English translator in the book. And now people would be more interested in these two fictional languages that they've made up. They're not too many people seem to talk about. Can you imagine having your own version of the Chronorium, being able to put that bitch on your shelf, and literally being able to open it? It's not just a little statue to put on your shelf. A real fucking book that you can open and read the contents of its pages and find new mysteries to solve, new Easter eggs. And nobody has to play the game if they don't want to. Or they can play the game and try to solve the mysteries along with the mysteries within the book. Maybe it connects to some of the mysteries within the game. Maybe somehow you can use this Chronorium to help you discover some undiscovered Easter eggs within the previous games. I think that would be pretty fucking awesome if done right. And if they built enough hype around it. Plus, if they did something like that, who knows, they might bring in a lot of people from the Gravity Falls fandom who have never tried Call of Duty Zombies. They're going to be like, ooh, interesting, this zombie mode in Call of Duty has a bunch of mysteries just like Gravity Falls, and they have a book to discover new mysteries just like Gravity Falls. That's fucking awesome. Count me in. That's if some of yous out there aren't already COD Zombie and Gravity Fall fans in one. I'm not going to lie, I'm thinking about eventually doing a video talking about Gravity Falls. Because partially the reason why I am starting to get into that show is because just how much it reminded me of the mysteries and the excitement of exploring them within Call of Duty Zombies. Especially in relations to this dimensional being that's fucking puppeting everyone and all these mysteries, all because of a book. Like, y'all don't realize how fucking similar these franchises are. I would be surprised if these two fandoms don't already intermingle. I mean, hell, COD Zombies already intermingles a little bit with the FNAF franchise because, again, a lot of similarities there with fucking Easter eggs and mysteries and whatnot. The only thing is, in the FNAF franchise, they avoid using the word Easter egg like The Walking Dead avoids using the word zombie. I mean, to a degree, I think Gravity Falls fandom does the same thing too. But I could be wrong, because I have some people call the mysteries Easter eggs within Gravity Falls, or only like certain stuff called Easter eggs. So I wouldn't say they avoid it completely, but they very rarely ever use the word. And I will admit, usually that's exclusive to gaming. But even then, it's amazing how many mystery-related franchises now just avoid using that word. Again, like how The Walking Dead avoids using the word zombie. But these two, or count three, franchises are so similar that I'm surprised people don't intermingle more. I know this is primarily comparing it to Gravity Falls, but still, it's just another example that I just thought of right off the top of my head. But I don't know. Maybe this is just a cool idea that I'm just getting myself excited for that'll never come into fruition. And maybe it wouldn't actually play out as well as I think it would in real life. Even if they did play their cards right. Maybe the fan base wouldn't really be that interested. But I don't know. That's why I wanted to talk about this idea in this video here today. And why I'm going to throw it out there into the ether. In hopes that other people find it, hear about this, and tell me what they think. And I genuinely want to know. So, I leave that question to you. Which way would you want it? Would you ever want a graphic novel retelling or a regular novel retelling of the previous zombie stories? Or would like a published chronorium taking inspirations from the Journal 3 books from Gravity Falls? Would that be more of an interesting idea? Would that be something you would be excited for? How do you feel about the idea of discovering new Easter eggs in your own version of the chronorium? How would you feel about the idea of literally owning your own unique version of the chronorium and teaming up with somebody else with their own version to discover more mysteries? Let me know in the comment section down below. I hope this ends up being a very interesting discussion. Even if this is something that never ever happens, I'm curious to see what people think if they actually entertain the idea. So please, 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 let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And while you're at it, leave a like if you've enjoyed the video. If not, leave a dislike and a comment telling me why. Because any interaction is good interaction for my channel and the algorithm. And any criticism can help me get better. And of course, subscribe to add a little dose of chaos in your life. If you're on BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey, shout out to those watching on those platforms. If you're on YouTube, stop it. The button doesn't work. It doesn't matter if you click all notifications. It doesn't fucking work. Subscriptions are useless. Please just leave me a like or a dislike. Your subscriptions don't do anything. Technically, they're supposed to notify you when a video comes out, but lately, notifications haven't been working too well. Not even for me, with some of the creators I'm subscribed to. So please don't even waste, if you're on YouTube only, don't waste your fucking time with the subscription button. BitChute, Rumble, Odyssey, go ahead. It works just fine. YouTube, don't waste your fucking time. That button is fucking useless. If you're actually interested in my comments, check out my channel every now and then. If you think it would be easier to check about my channel every now and then by subscribing because of the subscription tab, then fair enough. I can understand why you still want to subscribe. It would be easier just to go to my channel through the tab instead of typing it out every single time you come onto YouTube. Believe me, though, when I say your subscriptions are useless on YouTube only. They're useless. I'm not saying that to be a prick. I'm saying that because it literally doesn't function properly. So you're better off just visiting my channel and see if I upload. It will not notify you if I upload. So please, if you're on YouTube, don't waste your time with a subscription. It's useless. I appreciate it, don't get me wrong. Thank you. I'm glad that you actually want to see my content. But I'm sorry, it's just useless. It's not up to me to get it to function. I'm just a creator. I'm just letting you know it's fucking useless. Don't even bother with that. If you're going to subscribe, you're still going to have to get used to visiting my channel manually. So if you're going to subscribe, do that just to make it easier on yourself. But don't expect any notifications whatsoever, even if you ring that bell. Also on top of that, I'm slowly going to stop producing videos on YouTube. And this is only YouTube. If you're watching on BitChute, Rumble, Odyssey, any other alternative platform that I upload to the future, it does not apply there. So what I'm saying from here on out does not apply there. But once I'm done with difficulty tweak for the few games that I'm currently playing, for those of you who don't know what difficulty tweak is, difficulty tweak is where I go back to play games I recently played on each individual difficulty mode. Not an entire campaign or single player, but just a few selective missions or mission types, or if it's a multiplayer game, we'll mix it up and see how we do it, such as Dead by Daylight or Battlefield 2042. Just to properly represent the game's difficulties, its challenges, see if there are any fair, fun, or BS, or in the case of easy modes, for somebody who might be new to that game, see if it actually pushes them to try to do better. You know, because they don't want to hop straight onto normal, they don't know how to use the controls yet, but just to see if the easy mode will actually push them to get better a little bit, but not go so hard on them, because obviously it's an easy mode. It's the training wheels difficulty. Basically, I want to see if the training wheels function. Anyways, I digress. But essentially, once I'm done with that for these current 4 games that I'm playing, I'm going to start to slowly, relax uploads on here. Because once I'm done with difficulty tweak for 4 or 5 games, once I've done like 10 specific video ideas, not including random commentary ideas like this one, not including these, right? But for some specific video ideas that I have later on in the future, and difficulty tweak. Once I'm done with those, I will slowly stop uploading to the Hyper Chaotic YouTube channel. And I will go to Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey full time. If I'm feeling it, maybe, I'll sometimes upload whichever video does the best there here and see how it does. Maybe, if I'm really feeling it, I'll keep uploading shorts to at least promote the bigger videos. But keep in mind that when I promote them, you will still have to go to Rumble, BitChute, or Odyssey to watch them. I will not anymore post the videos that I worked the hardest on to YouTube anymore. Once this schedule has been dried up, and once this year is over. Because I do have some projects that I do want to finish up. I don't want to get into that bad habit of not finishing things that I started. So I'm trying to finish that stuff up, and I'm still going to finish it here on YouTube. But once that's over with, the only time I'm going to do anything on my channel here on YouTube is to organize the playlists. And that's it. Once that schedule is up, once those video ideas are out, once this year is over, the Hyper Chaotic YouTube channel will go dead silent. So please, don't waste your fucking subscriptions on me. Unless you're using those YouTube alternatives. One less time. All of that only applies to YouTube. I will continue to upload on BitChute. I will continue to upload on Rumble. Odyssey, given the circumstances of how that platform works, I might eventually stop uploading there too. Maybe. But other than that, everything else only applies to YouTube. There will come a day, sometime next year, this channel may go radio silent. I might upload here and there in shorts, or I might not ever upload again. I'm still debating that. But this YouTube channel will go radio silent. Because I'm tired of this fucking platform and I can't do it anymore. Uploading to YouTube has been a complete and utter fucking waste of my time. If somehow my views and engagement rates go up by the time this year is over and that schedule is done, maybe, just maybe, I'll change my mind. But that chance is very, very fucking low. And I honestly doubt any of y'all are that interested in my content to begin with. which it's fine. You're allowed to like what you like. You're not going to like every video I produce. But if you do, I'm sorry. I'm sorry ahead of time. If you don't want to move to the alternative platforms, I'm sorry. You just won't get my content. You do you. I hope your experience continues to get better on this platform instead of worse. Because mine's in the fucking toilets. One last time, and I apologize if I sound like a broken record for saying this. This only applies to YouTube. Feel free to subscribe to me on BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey. Do not waste your fucking subscription on YouTube. It is useless. It is worthless. It does nothing for you, and it does nothing for me. You won't even get a notification. Thank you. And I do appreciate your time. Even if you didn't enjoy this video, I appreciate you making it all the way to the end. I really, really do. Thank you so much for giving me a try. HK out. Once again, what are your thoughts on this general topic? And have a good one.